best crypto asset? Which one's the best crypto asset? Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Which one's the best? 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 What's the second best?
Welcome into Discover Crypto, the Blockchain Basement BitLab Academy Consortium 2 p.m. show, as we have some of the top experts in macroeconomics warning that this is the end of fiat currency in the world as we know it. Have they done enough to shake Bitcoin holders out of their bags once and for all? What the hell is going on over in the EU? So much to discuss, so much room for activities. But first and foremost, got to bring up my wonderful co-host, Mr. Kelly Kellum. How are you doing on this fine Friday, my good sir?
You know, these prices are just getting better and better discounted, and I'm loving it. People are getting capitulatory. Yeah, I'm bringing up words today. I feel like Mike Tyson. People getting capitulatory up in this piece. But you know what? I mean, the landscape is still looking more bullish than ever going into 2026. We had record-breaking options that were expiring today on the stock market. We have record-breaking options that are expiring, I think, on December 26th as well. So I think we need to kind of hold fast, look for lower opportunities. There's a lot of we got some great stuff we got lined up today. I think we're going to do a little bit of a powerhouse, a little bit shorter show so people can get out there. This is specifically for you all. We're going to charge you with some homework. Get out there and find some life balance and pet a puppy, hang out with a friend, have a cocktail, whatever you're going to do, but reset your mind so you can come back in these markets afresh.
Great advice. I'm so excited for the Christmas party. We're having a Christmas party tonight. So, you know, wife's getting all dolled up. I'm going to show up. I'm going to get fancy too. Let's get into it. We got a lot of ground to cover here. Make sure to follow me at Druth Crypto. Kelly hosted a show on the Discover Crypto channel last night as well. And I just want to give you a shout out, man. Kelly is bringing in some serious alpha on these shows. So make sure to follow him at Kelly Kellum on Twitter, the master of disaster and long-term Bitcoin planning on Twitter. So I really love your work out there. And, you know, today it's been a little bit psyopy, not going to lie. I am going to look at the Solana chart particularly today because we had this is crazy. We had a 1 minute candle that washed down by nearly 4% and liquidated an absolute boatload of people. Liquidation hunting is going on in full force right now. What better time? Because I'm in a trading competition right now. And the crazy part about the trading competition is that I think I'm in second place and I am barely up. Most people out there trading are not using stops. For the love of God, use a stop loss. It is your friend. Sometimes the trade moves against you. Sometimes you got to take it on the chin like a man, right? Don't go expose your entire portfolio. If you are leverage trading out there, it's a very dead heat race right now. And Bitcoin, I was looking at it this morning and me personally, I wanted to see the hopeful romantic in me wanted me to see Bitcoin break above this downward trend line. We jackknifed above it at the manipulation hour and then have fallen back down. And so, you know, I'm not going to get too far into the weeds on it, but I've got some things rolling in the background on the zone I was looking at. This morning was kind of crazy just looking at the markets. You know, with all the fear out there
they're playing with us, man.
Yeah.
They're playing with us. I mean, we see it in the charts. We've been talking about these weird sort of market open on the traditional stock market. Remember, Bitcoin's 24/7. It's so stupid we're seeing this in Bitcoin when even today, stock market opened up and Bitcoin was a little bit dumpy pants, but they're taking advantage of people with these. I mean, get you maxed hype and then they sell into you and make you want to go short. And then they, you know, wreck it back to the upside, and back to the down. They're literally just shaking bitches off the charts. That's what they're doing right now.
I completely agree with that. And it's a tale that can be told, especially for those that aren't using stops out there. They're feeling the pain because they are searching out liquidity. They are seeking and destroying right now. And really, the overall landscape of crypto doesn't look too bad right now. I mean, you have Tron slightly down, but AVAX is putting in a little bit of a move, right? We're seeing some of these tokens try to resurge, but Bitcoin being under 90K is really kind of pushing down a lot of the other coins out there. It is what it is. And you started the show. Maybe we get lucky enough to have even cheaper prices. I did see Gareth Soloway this morning. He came out with kind of a detailed Bitcoin analysis, and I caught a good chunk of Gareth Soloway's conversation. And really, this is what I'm hoping to get for Christmas. I am hoping to get cheaper Bitcoin. There is still hope, Susie, that we find a bounce off of this. I'm speaking directly to one of my favorite people in the community here. But right now, it kind of looks like we're getting floppy and gropey. If we don't see a vile resurgence above the $94,000 mark, it seems to me that we are magnetized down to the production cost of Bitcoin or even lower, which would be that ultimate buy zone in the green box here at $65,000 to $70,000. I mean, what do you think about these levels, Kelly?
Well, check out this chart I found from James Easton, UK. Make sure you go give him a follow. I followed him recently, and all great content coming out of what he's got here. But this is the energy value oscillator, kind of taking akin to what you're talking about with the energy costs. It has never been a bad idea to buy when it turns green. It has turned green, probably something. And what we're talking about here is the oscillation of energy costs as it relates to the price of Bitcoin. And when we get into these green zones, you can just look at previous price action. This was great bottom entry, the foundation for this entire bull market. This was a COVID crash right here, and the little bit of the dip that we had before that, and also the bottom back here in 2018 into 2019. And yet again, here we are where the price is, oh my God, we're entering a bear market. And I think this is absolutely going to trap some people because much like you're talking about with energy costs, I made it simple. There's some words on here. Sure, I tried to outline it for you guys. A lot of liquidity right in the zone. That's why this red box is here. So therefore, this is likely going to be a heavy resistance zone when we do push up. But I do think ultimately we're going to see price action push down into somewhere in the zone, most likely. And then furthermore, much like Gareth Soloway's calls and levels, fools will be mad here. Oh my God, I'm so mad. And the smart money, and I think that's going to be many of you are going to be going, you're telling me we have an opportunity to buy Bitcoin down here if it gets below 75, somewhere in this $65,000 to $72,000 region. This would be an absolute dream buy zone, in my opinion. And this yellow line is not a random line on the chart. That is January 30th, for which I'm looking at because of the what do you call it? The budgets and everything going on with the government shutdown. All that is kicked to this date right here. So it would make a lot of sense to, if this does kind of continue to kind of travel down into here, maybe get a wick down in here, maybe spend some time down in here, but starting to see a little bit of a resolution after we get past this date into Q2.
Yeah. And in general, I just feel like these prices on Bitcoin are too damn high. I'm buying Bitcoin.
No more
like it.
No more opportunities. I'm tired of opportunities.
Well, it's like, I was talking about this on the Basement Show for a while. It's like once we broke that all-time high in 70K, then we went to 80K, 90, yada, yada, yada. Max Payne started feeling like up only, right? Even though I backed the truck up when we hit 17, I backed the truck up and put my life savings into Bitcoin when we had the COVID crash. I still felt like I wanted the price to come back to me. And I want to ask the chat this very specific question. What would you bring back? Would it be $50,000 Bitcoin? Would it be Little Caesars inside of targets that aren't full of, absolute garbage? What would you bring back? Something that comes to mind is the nostalgia behind Blockbuster, the video rental location. I had a great time there. I wanted those, and I want to bring back cheaper crypto prices.
Bennigan's. You got Bennigan's? Maybe hit that fried ham club sandwich, whatever that was, and their chicken tenders were bomb as hell. But yeah, I thought the process of Blockbuster was awesome because it was like this event. You go with 3 or 4 people, you kind of debate what you're going to get. You want to get that new movie, but if you get there on Friday, it's already out because they only have like 3 or 4 of each one of those. But that was such a scene, man. Golly. Yeah. Bring back my hairline. That's what I bring back.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? There's going to be technology for this. We have the technology. So I want to go actually kind of snoop around altcoins here for a second, if we may. and see what is up and actually doing well today. More money laundering moving through Zcash. We got some Aptos resurgence, but it is at $1, and that is absolutely terrifying. This was something I got into Aptos because they like flashed a lot of RWA activity at one point. It was about $5, maybe $6 at the time, and then the activity on RWA.xyz just vanished. And so I got the hell out of the way of the project, and thankfully I did. Now it's fallen all the way down to $1.61. Pepe trying to make a move up. Let's see if there's anything I like on the altcoins that are on sale. Okay, here we go. Here's my DCA target. Aerodrome under 50 cents. I like that. I wonder, like, what altcoins out here are you still believing in, Kelly? And in the chat, what altcoins do you still believe in? Let me know in the comments. I just want to get a litmus test from the Discover Crypto peeps out here. What do you still believe in out here, Kelly?
I mean, Aerodrome, I think is, I can't believe we're able to get it at sub 50 cents. I think anywhere. I mean, these markets, if Bitcoin does make that swing down into, sub 80, but primarily down into the 74, $68,000 region, I think there's still going to be a 15 to 40% discount on many of these coins. But the question is, does that happen? We have the massive options expiration today, $7 trillion on the stock market, $7 trillion. I have that story somewhere here. I don't need to pull it up. $7 trillion on the stock market, kind of freeing up some of those barriers to move either direction. 26, I think it's, I can't remember the total, but on December 26th, we have one of the largest options expire in history on Bitcoin and Ethereum as well. So if we do get that downward price action, I do think there's going to be some more substantial discounts. So I do think there's some good DCA opportunities for things like Aerodrome, Morpho. There is some FUD around Avalanche, but I think Avalanche is going to do pretty damn well when the market does reverse. So I think we're kind of in a good DCA zone for that. Chainlink. But I would recommend, this is not financial advice, but I would recommend you don't blast your whole wad on prices here, because there's a pretty decent chance that we're going to get some pretty good discounts that come in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah.
And there's something,
Tao's another one.
There's something to be said for having a risk adjusted approach to where the market's at right now. I mean, there are major warnings coming from some of the best minds in macroeconomics right now. But beyond that, the Japanese unwinds got markets spooked pretty well. This is Robin Brooks. Japan has reached the end of the road. It's trapped between rising yields and a fiscal crisis, or using the Bank of Japan to keep artificially capping yields, which will send the yen into depreciation spiral. Today's sharp fall in the yen is a sign of things to come, in his opinion. This is the US dollar to the Japanese yen chart right there. But also, Ray Dalio came out, I rather should say, came out with some pretty crazy words. Let's just have a quick listen to this. I won't take too much time listening, but Dalio has been long time calling for what they call the fourth turning, a great change in culture and economics. And he's got some pretty scary words.
I think that right now we are at a decision-making point and very close to a recession. And I'm worried about something worse than a recession if this isn't handled well. A recession is 2 negative quarters of GDP, and whether it goes slightly there, we always have those things.
But they changed the definition of a recession. We've already had this. And now what he's talking about is a crescendo into a worldwide depression, right? And this is where you can feel it here in the US from where we sit through metrics such as this with the Kobayashi letter coming out this morning. The US consumer sentiment divide is widening even deeper. Sentiment among consumers earning less than $50,000 has fallen steadily over the past year to nearly the lowest level since early 2024. And among those earning $50,000 to $100,000, sentiment has also declined, though by a smaller margin. But the rich, the have-yachts, are feeling fine in this situation because they own assets, while people that are still middle-aged earners, people that are out there fighting for their cheese, are feeling the pressure economically day in and day out. And it really has come to a point where, we highlighted this on the basement show this morning, but we're seeing those treasury buys of our own debt. They're up to $6 billion of treasury buys so far this week. And one of the guys that actually made one of the biggest bets in history, Michael Burry, highlighted this. The moment that your interest payments exceed tax revenue, your country officially becomes a Ponzi scheme. Now, I look at this from a few different perspectives, and I kind of want to run your ideas about this as well, Kelly, because I feel like the increase in communication is quickening the process of the degradation of trust in fiat currencies, because people are discussing much, much more about the loss of their buying power. They're getting instant information about interest rate hikes.
Bar chart posted the Google search results about a month ago. This isn't the post.
Oh, okay.
But this guy, this you should all follow Bar Chart. We've had him on the Discover X Spaces as well. They put out great content, but they put out Google search results reached the highest level it had ever been for dollar devaluation, only like a month ago. So there is growing awareness around this. Now, being that it was the highest it was ever searched, doesn't mean it was like 40% of people in America. It could have been 1% of people in America and then 1.2%. I don't know what the percentage is there, but the point here, to your point, Drew, is that there is growing awareness around things going on in the financial sector, things going on in the devaluation of the dollar. One of the biggest gifts, I think, and it's a terrible destruction, but one of the biggest gifts that COVID was a very quick eye opener for people in the day of the information age that we have now, where there are X spaces, there is not just news pundits that give you sculpted information. There's all this data that is out there, and there's growing awareness that people felt firsthand. Hey, my eggs were $1 2 years ago. Now they're $4 a dozen. Now they're $6 a dozen. Hey, my gas was this. Now it's this. And it didn't happen in this very small incremental change, which we were used to over our lifetime. It happened en masse for everybody in the world in the matter of about a year and a half after all the money printing from COVID. So that leads people back to this information age deal with social media, where they start seeing this content and realizing we are getting absolutely bottom entried on all of these things. And that's why it's painful.
Bottom entried. You slipped that right in there. I'm aware of the brutal teabagging on my crypto all last quarter. Yes, it has been felt across the board. And Daddy OC or OSC kind of stole the idea in my mind, because this is actually coming up next. The loss of trust in fiat and the quickening of information is causing a violent move into gold and silver, palladium, hard assets, right? This silver chart has now hit an official new all-time high of $67 an ounce for the first time in history. It's up 133% on the year, as people are realizing the fiat system is truly cooked. It's just a matter of a older asset class that's more trusted, like silver or gold, absorbing that influx first. Now, my loss of trust in governments, in all of these systems, is what pushed me into crypto back in flu season. But
there's other things out there as well. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, but this chart that we had up a second ago, this bar chart post, these are the types of things that macro investors, big money houses, and sovereign bodies see, and they go, we should start protecting ourselves. When they're seeing that the margin debt, which is, remember what happened in 1929, the Black Tuesday or whatever, when we had the absolute stock market collapse, that had to do with margin debt. Margin and leverage is not something new to Bitcoin and altcoins and meme coins. Leverage has been around since the stock market existed, essentially. They just did it a little differently, basically via paper. But people using $20 to trade 200, 10x leverage, things like that. We're seeing the same circumstances in this effect that we had before the financial collapse in 2008, before the dot-com bubble burst back here. So the question is this time different? Is there a nuance to this with AI and all that stuff? Is there a little bit over exuberance in certain tech heavy stocks? Or is this, nobody really knows right now, because they're also telling us, and it's been telegraphed in real terms, that they are going to print more. They're going to, while I love the $1,776 to the soldiers, that's also a form of money printing.
Right.
It's like we're seeing it. It's only going to get larger. So it seems to me like we're going to have the market run a lot hotter before we have any collapse.
Yeah, and it looks like as we're speaking, we had Trump go live here. Let's just make sure he's not saying anything important. Let's unmute this.
Top schools.
Trump has taken the
hire them.
stage.
Now you're able to buy a card, and you're able to keep people in the country. They can't keep people in the
It's
country.
the Trump card
And
conversation.
they go to Canada. They go to other countries. A lot of times they go to Canada, even though they work for the companies behind me. So now you're able to buy. The companies are able to buy the card and use it for people coming in to our country, so they can stay in our country instead of being immediately shipped out after graduating. They graduate.
Okay. So he's conversating about the Trump card, which is basically you have to pay an exorbitant amount of money to get someone from an outside country into the United States to work at your company. And we are selling these and using them as a form of income here in the United States, which isn't a bad play.
And Trump's not. It's not like Trump is doing some weird nuanced thing that he was genius for. And
Right.
It's not bizarre that he's doing it. There's countries around the world that have programs that if you make an investment in the nation or commit an amount of an investment in a nation, that you can get expedited citizenship. That's essentially what it is for anybody that wants to be like, this is stupid. It's a known thing that happens all over the world.
Yeah, and it's making Bitcoin feel pretty good. I mean, this is all right. I have a long in from this, so I might you know what? My stop's safe. I'm going to let her cook. I'm going to let it cook. Chat, all right, hold on. Let's leave this up to the chat so I can blame you at home if this goes wrong. One in chat, if I leave the long from 87K open, stop loss is flat, so I'm not going to lose any money. Two, if I should just close it right now. Usually I just close them so I can go yap about the rest of macroeconomics, but there is something very sick with our economic system right now, and it is the driving factor of why I got into crypto in the first place. Let's see. I want to go through the cook. Yeah, let it cook. Keep the long open. All right, one. All right. I like it. All right, we're gonna let it cook. Let it cook. Indie Halo. And honestly, you missed on the basement show. We gave away a bunch of Avalanche. Someone tipped us like $2,000 in arena tokens. I absolutely love it. Now, what we see in terms of Christmas, I am a Christmas maximalist. I am a Christ maximalist, and I am seeing this happen across the planet. It makes me sad. Australia, France, and Germany have now canceled their New Year's celebration. All been canceled because the French government can no longer keep its citizens safe from radical terrorism. Can't say this word or Alphabet will come after me. We know whose side they're on. We're all watching one of the most beautiful countries and cultures commit the unthinkable. Now, I really do agree with this. Bullying politicians is more patriotic than worshiping them. TJ had a great conversation on the morning show, and it has been reestablished that we cannot expect a politician to come be our savior. It is up to us in the free market to bring this country back. It is up to us within the culture to bring the culture back. Let's answer this question as well. Are altcoins still with a May 2021 all-time high doomed? So essentially, are the altcoins that never were able to accomplish new all-time highs cooked forever? Kelly, if we may, to address that question, could you pull up the others chart that kind of shows how the entire altcoin sector is doing versus Bitcoin for us to I'm actually earnestly curious on how this chart is looking right about now. What do we got here?
This is the others chart. This is last cycle back here. We had a very similar boom, 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 boom. A little bit more compressed in terms of time, how long this took to play out. We're doing the same thing so far, still, as of yet, except the difference is we're not doing anything fun, guys. Nothing fun. We're not doing any of these opportunities to the upside yet. We're doing, in fact, we are doing, where's purple right here. We're doing the purple path right here. So it would suck. It would suck if this purple path was followed and altcoins are completely dead here, or if we're changing structure, or maybe this is just actually candle bodying rather than just wick into this same zone that we've had. I had this there months before that actually played out, and it was basically based on this washout that we had down here. But ultimately, this did come below this orange box. So maybe that's what's needed. Maybe this needs to come lower before a move. But as it stands right now, if we turn everything off and take out any sort of extrapolations of what might happen, just look at price action. We had the little mini alt season here into March where you sold and everybody gave you hate because what are you? And you took profits. And everybody else was stupid. And then down here they said, dude, why didn't you tell me to take profits? And you said, I actually showed you when I took profits. And then people sold here and then they bought here again at the top only for it to wreck them again. And now we have a lower high and we're coming into a lower low. It's not looking very good for altcoins right now on the others chart. I will say on the 3-day chart, the RSI is quite a bit low down here. Similar region that we had before that run, similar region here before we had that run, and also similar region that we had, see right here, boom, option V, which is boom before that run. So is the setup there for something to happen? Yeah, but there's nothing in the near term that says, hey man, this is the time to stack and just expect something tomorrow. Now, this is a time to stack if you are patient and willing to potentially wait 3 months, 6 months, maybe even a year, and for something. But right now, the conditions are such that risk is not in the building with us.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just something we have to acknowledge. Like once we lose the bullish momentum, like I am super bullish on the future of Bitcoin and how useful crypto is to this new digital economy and digital communication setup that we're in right now. Fundamentally, there is no shaking me off of the bullish outlook I have for data aggregation, provable work done on the network. These are things that I see as valuable in the future. And there's no shaking me off of that. I could argue that till the cows come home with anyone, PhDs, blah, blah, blah. But there does come a time where you have to understand what would change your life. And then when you see that number come across your little cell phone on your little screen, you press the red button and you go change your life with the money, right? There's this constant search for more and more and more and more that I think we get lost in. I want to see, I missed a super chat from someone. Where is it at?
I think it's the one we just covered. The one that said you didn't hit our super chat.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
That's the one I pulled up. Yeah.
Appreciate that. Thank you very much for that. So it's a time frame, Kelly, where it's like, I'm very, very specified on the crypto projects that I'm willing to look at. And I'm not willing to spread myself out too thin and go after this. God, this trade is actually, and this is the power. Like I was using a tiny amount of money. I only have like $2,000 or I think it's like 3 on these 2 exchanges. And now I got an extra $1,000 in the last 5 minutes. I'm cheating these though. I'm cheating them. I'm doing it.
Here's the deal, bro. Look at this chart real quick. Look on
absolutely.
On the 15-minute chart. 15-minute chart here on Bitcoin. This feels good. But what I always look at when something's pumping, when there's previous price action, this broke down out of a range. And this feels good because we do have a W pattern here. Boom, boom, boom. It broke out of it. But look at this dotted line that comes across. Look at where this is pushed up into and is having already a little weakness right at this bounce, right at this bounce, right at this bounce, roughly right about where this rejection is. So there's a lot of, it's like, hey, let's trap people and then make that move lower. That's what I'm seeing there.
Absolutely. Leverage is a tool. Fire is a tool. Ammo is a tool. It's only dangerous if you misuse it. So adjust your risk accordingly. And right now, I did see someone chat that there is a potential candle, cup and handle forming on Ethereum. I'll go snooping around. You want to bring up Ethereum so we can kind of snoop Ethereum?
Yeah, tell us what time frame we're looking at. If we look at it here on the 15-minute, you kind of do have a cup and it's almost like a retarded cousin made a little mug in pottery class here. That's a really janky handle, but let's go to a little larger time frame, 4 hour. Let's go to macro. Maybe you're talking macro. I mean, you can kind of call this a cup and handle. I mean, but what I would do is I would measure this option F all the way to the top. Okay, it's kind of at the breaking point for this cup and handle. If it comes a bit lower, it's not a cup and handle. But yeah, I mean, this is just hanging on to hope in the near term. I wouldn't be paying attention to this right now. I'd be looking for opportunities to stack if you're looking multi-month. If you're looking for smaller time frames, for instance, 15-minute, this does look like it could try and make a move to the upside, but RSI is struggling right now at a zone that if it breaks down below this, we're probably going to move a lot lower.
Yeah. And this is where the difference of approaches comes into place. Like, I am in crypto and Bitcoin for a long term, right? So I have different bags. My leverage trading bag is much smaller than my long-term holding bag. And it all comes from how I organize the crypto. The long-term bag is on cold storage. I use Arculus cold storage device, and it keeps my crypto locked away for a really long time. It's something that's been really powerful. You can take advantage of this. It's a great Christmas gift. You could stick one of these in a stocking for a person that isn't familiar with cold storage devices, and they will very quickly be able to get up to speed on how to get in and out of the wallet with very good ease. It uses 3-factor authentication, and it's one of the best crypto products out there. So huge shout out to Arculus for sponsoring this channel, because they keep the lights on, and it also is a device that keeps your greedy, slippy little hands off of that crypto. When things start going against you on the trade, you know what? You can just step back, take a breath, go enjoy your family, and not sit there dying on the 1-minute charts. I do emphasize that very, very much. Do I get to do something? Hold on.
I'm waiting for him to see. Just let him stick his head out. There's a bopper coming.
Okay. Well, all right. Damn it. Can I just do it?
Because I just want to remind everybody, if you're watching, we are on multiple platforms. So this is multi-streamed. So there might be on one platform with 7 people, another platform with 1,000, another with 500. So if you are an idiot, then just be an idiot. Tell us you're an idiot, and we will remove you from being subjected to us if you don't like what we're doing.
Real quick, I'm going to do it, Kelly. I got to do it.
Hey, it's Hannah, and you're deported.
Oh, yeah. It's been a while. I don't think I've ever been able to actually use that on this channel. Finally, we're out of YouTube jail. So, where did this person? Oh, man, they're gone. You did it for me.
I didn't.
Oh, okay. Well, someone did. That's wonderful. I really think that, we're heading into the holiday season, and we're going to get distracted by Christmas, and rightfully so, because being distracted by your loved ones isn't a distraction. That's what, we are here for, is to take care of the people around us in a better manner. And I will absolutely acknowledge 2025, other than Bitcoin hitting new highs, this is not what we expected to have happen for altcoins. Partially, I was correct in saying that it was a selective alt season, but in aggregate, I can't say that all these ships rose with the tide, not by a long shot. So again, I reemphasize, we must be selective about what we're looking to put money into, and really just adopting a long-term mindset is going to help us avoid those aggravating feelings. And I've even gotten invested in nuclear industry. I'm starting to look at some of the other kind of disruptive technologies out there, because I'm a disruptive technology investor. But I wanted to know from you, Kelly, if we do roll all the way down, let's say Solana hits $80 or even worse, and Bitcoin goes to 65K, right? Are you going to be more inclined to buy Bitcoin or one of the larger altcoins if we do see those very, very low levels on these projects?
I'm getting more and more super blue chip pilled. I'd probably put the majority of a buy. If we get down sub 74, I'd be pretty heavy Bitcoin allocation. And I'm going to be a little bit patient on being aggressive. I think I'll stack some Linnea. I'll probably stack some Chainlink, but I'm going to be Bitcoin heavy. Okay.
I hopped in. I found the needed deportation. I was looking for him. Goodbye. Have a fun life. I personally I came into this as a utility token investor more so, but I bought, Bitcoin was the first buy. Seeing everything that's gone on and just learning how patience and time in the market is the real winner, in crypto, I honestly think I have enough Chainlink. I want more Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is what I'm having FOMO of not enough of. Even if the alts that I hold are small in comparison, I still feel like I don't have enough Bitcoin. And it's something it's something that I don't feel sorry for because I'm protecting my family's future with it. Yeah. I love that comment. Shout out. Oh god. Absolutely love it. So yeah, I mean, me personally, like the first and foremost thing I'm buying is Bitcoin. If we do breach below or at that production cost of Bitcoin, absolutely, that's the first. And
Well, here's the deal. Here's the deal with Bitcoin. And I want to say this loud and proud to everybody that's tuned in. I have played so heavily in the altcoin ecosystem in the last 10 years. I've made quite a bit of money. With Bitcoin, I've been stacking along the way there as well. But the longer that I'm in this space, the more you become more and more aware of what Bitcoin really is. And I think we all get so excited about the possibility of, if I pick the right altcoin at the right time, I could have 20x, 30x, 40x gains in a very short period of time. This last year and a half has wrecked people with that mentality. And I'm not saying it's not possible again in the near future, maybe sometime even in 2026. But what I'm seeing with Bitcoin, even being over $2 trillion market cap, and it's so high, the price is so high, or it can never. Well, here's the deal. I really think that we're going to get an S curve on the price at some point, because the overwhelming demand that's coming in is going to have this inflection point with supply, where OGs are going to stop having this rotation, where you get banks buying in mass, banks promoting to their clientele to buy in mass, integrations, different privacy layers and stuff that are going to be integrated and developed around Bitcoin. I do think there's going to be a point in time. It's probably only going to happen once, sometime in the next 5 years, where you do see like $15, $25, $50,000 candles, where there's this massive inflection on price that then is going to spark that sort of retail mania that also layers in as well. So I'm going to be there for that. And I can't wait to start not selling, but taking some loans against my Bitcoin when it's $1 million Bitcoin, $3 million Bitcoin, because it's only, remember, there's an infinite supply of fiat, but there's a fixed cap of the availability of Bitcoin. And that inflection point is real and it's going to happen. The question is when.
Right. And I want to talk about this in kind of a nuanced manner. What's a minimum if you buy Bitcoin to make it make sense? Now, I will say that every single person has a different situation. There are some 20-year-olds that are out there swinging for the fences, right? But they have 20, 30 years of strong involvement with the workforce and more time to stack, right? But they have the ability to be more aggressive because they have a longer time available in their life to rebuild. Then there's the 50-year-olds, the 60-year-olds, the 70-year-olds even, that are trying to protect the value that they've already put together in their life. So the amount that you go in with differs across the board. For me, my personal goal is basically about 1% to 3% of a Bitcoin per week is my trading goal. Now, in terms of if I see $70,000, $65,000 Bitcoin, that means I'm probably going after a whole Bitcoin, right? That's the moment where, I'm unwinding a lot of capital to go after, another one, because it's just something that I've learned to rinse and repeat the process. And yeah, I was basically just trading. Once we broke above $80,000, $90,000, I just felt like buying Bitcoin with new tether that I was making on trades. I wasn't digging into old money. So that is kind of my approach on this process.
Here's the deal. I want to just make this clear for everybody. This is something that gets a lot of discourse on X and on YouTube and different analysts out there. But looking at the power law, this doesn't look exciting because you see this curving so exaggeratedly, but this is, remember, on a logarithmic scale. These types of power laws show Bitcoin at about $1 million plus by 2030. Okay. Now, the reason why this is exciting is because this is what that power law looks like if you're not putting it on a logarithmic scale. Logarithmic means 1 to 10, 10 to 100, 100 to 1,000 versus 1 10 to 100, right? So you're seeing this. This is what the power law looks like in price action. So by 2030, look at this. This actually shows north of 3.5 million, I believe, something like that. But you see the difference in scale here. We cannot compute exponential math in our brains. So we see it on logarithmic and it doesn't look exciting. But again, this is what it looks like. And it's because of this. Global liquidity is the mass indicator for what's going on with Bitcoin. The power law, long-term growth model also factors in not only the fixed supply of Bitcoin, but also the energy costs and the growing size of the network and all these different laws of growth and technology expansion, all these things all wrapped into this. So I'm very much a believer in something of this scale playing out, and all of this price action, all of us, look at this 15-minute chart. We're trying to make calls. All of us are fucking idiots going, okay, it's going to go down, it's going to go up. And then you realize this is really what's going on. So when you see these opportunities on Bitcoin's price coming down into these levels, potentially down here, 74, potentially lower, and these zones, I don't know what happened to my other chart. Here it is. Where is it at? Here we go. Coming down here, where fools are going to be mad that Bitcoin's down here again, but smart money is going to be stacking in this mega stack zone because of the laws of physics and energy and growth and adoption.
Yep. Well said. And I want to address this. This is one of my favorite subject matters. And this is a big reason why I'm so heavily into cryptos. Have you guys heard about the banking crisis? And
have we heard?
Have we heard? And actually, I'm glad he asked this because we actually got an update from the FDIC on the third quarter of 2025 and how things are looking in terms of unrealized losses on mostly commercial real estate is the kind of anchor dragging the banking industry underwater. Currently, we're sitting at about $380 billion in unrealized losses for banks, but the curve is fixing itself and going back to equilibrium here. The entire concept beyond, I mean, you've mentioned the ISM, the business cycle, all time, like extreme lows of the business cycle is at right now, Kelly, which is very, very important to notice. But this graph right here shows you that the system and the wavelength of chaos within the system is getting deeper. It starts as a slight little great financial crisis, highlighted by Kelly's beautiful chart here.
You want to know something beautiful?
What's
I
that?
posted this and I pulled it up on my phone a couple days later, and we don't realize how blessed we are because we have Bitcoin now. We have different mechanisms. We have the awareness of what's going on in the financial sector. And my phone, when I was looking at this, posted this notification.
Yeah, man, that's great. It is. It's a lucky thing to be able to not, because here's the deal. The money that you have in your bank is not your money. It is the bank's money. So if that graph continues to get worse, and let's just say, this doesn't fix itself and we return back to the $700-800 billion zone and commercial real estate doesn't make a comeback and they don't inject an assload of liquidity into the system and print a bunch of money to fix it, then you're going to have 1,000, maybe 2,000, maybe 5,000 banks go out of business and be absorbed by this organization, the FDIC, here in the United States. And they're going to be distributed to the top 5 banks. But within that process, that highlight and that post that you did, Kelly, with the great financial crisis, that was in 2008, the inception time frame for Bitcoin. Let's just go back to that. Yeah, let's bring it up. Sorry about that. I accidentally clicked mine. Bad yours. So the great financial crisis, 2008, was the inception point for Bitcoin, but it also was the inception point for what was called the Dodd-Frank Act. And the Dodd-Frank Act allows banks to do what they call bail-ins, where they go into our bank accounts, which are really theirs, take our money, which is really theirs, out of that bank account to go fix the best that they can, the situations that they create with their over leveraging of our funds. So honestly, guys, crypto has allowed me to escape those kind of worries about the Dodd-Frank Act. go hug a puppy. It's going to be okay. We're going to be fine. I'm going to get ready for a great holiday party with TJ, Kelly, DZ, the entire team here at Discover Crypto. And I really appreciate you guys for spending your most valuable asset that you have, which is your time with us on this show, diving into the sicknesses within the macroeconomic landscape of which we walk upon right now. It's a well-deserved vacation that we're about to head into. And make sure that you don't get so distracted by the charts that you don't give time to your family and your loved ones. This is very, very important to keep a level head on your shoulders. Thank you very much, Mama Crypto, for the shout out as well. I love and appreciate you. Take care of each other. Be good. And you know what? The division is playing hard in this country. A country divided will fall. So stay focused. We'll see you very
We just wanted to take a quick second to shout out our sponsor, Arculus. They are a cold storage hardware wallet, helps you secure all of your digital assets for the future. Just tap this thing to the back of your phone and boom, you're in. We wouldn't be able to do this without them, but also wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, the Disco fam. You've supported us a lot over the years. If you want to support the channel now, just use the code DC20. It gets you 20% off this card. It's the #1 way you can support this channel going forward. Thank you for your support. We'll see you at the top.